Morning, everyone. Welcome to Compliance Over Coffee for this week. Not a very bright Thursday morning here in the Northwest, sadly, but there you go. It's just one of those things. This morning, I wanted to talk to you specifically around sellers and assessing sellers. And is proof of right to sell key and important? Well, for me, it's incredibly important. And as you guys know now from listening to me waffle on about all of this stuff for many years now, the due diligence expectations on sourcing agents is not just for the buyer, but also for the seller. And so, yes, it is absolutely key to what we do that you understand how to assess a seller, even if you are not direct to the seller. So, what is it about the right to sell? Sometimes, as sourcing agents, we will deal with people who aren't necessarily the immediate owner. It could be someone saying that they're a daughter or a son, that the owner has gone into a care home or has even died. Or it could be just someone that says that they are the owner and they are living there. But how do we know that they are? Just to emphasize how serious it can be if your due diligence isn't done and you accept what is said to you. I want to tell you a little story this morning. And I haven't made this up. This is actually true, but it's from probably a few years ago now. But this happens on a pretty regular basis, I'm led to believe, from reports that I read, that I get connections to all over the internet. And the story is that probably a few years ago now, and I think it was Hampshire or Surrey way, where houses are incredibly expensive. A lady walked into a local estate agent and said that she'd like to sell her property, which of course isn't unusual in itself. And she said to the estate agent, the property is worth 1.5 million on the open market. However, I'm going back to Hong Kong, where I hail from. It's a decision that I've made fairly quickly. I want to move quickly, so I'm happy to accept £1 million for the property if we can have a fast cash sale. And of course, the estate agent rubbed their little hands together because this, they believed, was a gift. And so obviously the property was marketed, and we all know that the property sold like that. And of course it did. £1 million cash. Everything went through the solicitors, everything went through as normal, everything seemed absolutely fine until 3 months later, the owner turned up outside the house and found it half demolished. The person who had sold it was the tenant. And the tenant got away with £1 million. And from reading the story, they weren't caught. But the owner did take both sets of solicitors and the estate agents to court and won their case. And that was because it was deemed that none of them had done sufficient due diligence to prove that the person that they were dealing with was actually the person who had the right to sell the property. Now, you can imagine that if you're a sourcing agent and you do that and your investor loses out on an awful lot of money, they're not going to be happy with you and your PI insurance could get very warm. So it's incredibly, incredibly important that you do due diligence, not just on the buyer, but on the seller as well. And that you have good understanding and proof that that person does own that property and have the legal right to sell it. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about this morning on Compliance Over Coffee. As usual, we will be back next Thursday for more Compliance Over Coffee. Until then, if you've got any topics that you want me to cover, bob them in the thread below the video and I will fit them into my schedule and cover those topics for you. In the meantime, have a fantastic weekend. I hope it sunshines a little bit where you are, and I'll be back with you next week on Thursday for more Compliance Over Coffee. Bye for now.